So I just watched the entire Galaxy Unpacked event where they announced the Galaxy S26 Ultra and the Galaxy Buds Series 4. And after that whole hour, it feels like I've just lost an hour, because what is Samsung even doing? Weeks before the announcement, people actually figured out basically everything there is to know about the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Not so hard when almost nothing changes. The new design and the new cameras have been all over Reddit, and people were already disappointed before the phone was even announced. The same phone every single year. Classic Samsung. Samsung also announced a couple of things that we didn't see coming. And spoiler alert, we have another downgrade. I was beyond thrilled when they started the presentation talking about AI, since everyone's so excited about it. They mentioned how they want their AI to do what's actually promised, which I feel like is a little bit of a jab towards Apple, because when they announced Apple Intelligence, half the features weren't even working, even until now. The main feature of the S26 Ultra is the inbuilt privacy display, which you can toggle at demand. They say that those privacy film protectors are temporary because it makes the screen dimmer, and obviously you can't turn it off without just ripping the display off. But with this new technology, the screen now has narrow and wide pixels. So with narrow pixels, the light goes directly into your face and makes the screen dark from the sides. And you can enable this for specific apps or even notifications, or even if you're just typing a password or something. What's funny is that you can actually buy third-party privacy screen protectors for the S26 Ultra, and I don't think I have to explain this to you, but that completely contradicts everything that I just said. But as pointed out by Mr. Who's the Boss, even with this feature disabled, the viewing angles are actually worse on the S26 compared to the S25, so there's trade-offs to the display, even if you're not using the technology. But there are some upsides, because the panel is now 10-bit, which for 99.999% of people means absolutely nothing. It just kinda looks good on paper. Last year when they announced the S25 Ultra, all they did was put some fake camera rings in order to make the cameras look bigger, when in reality they didn't change anything. And I feel like this year they did something similar, because they added a whole island to make the cameras look even bigger. I feel like at this point they're changing the design so that they themselves don't get confused that which phone they're selling. They also rounded off the corners a little bit. So if you remember the S23 Ultra, that had really square corners. In fact, at one point I was even using it as a shovel. Not really, but that was just, but with the S25 Ultra, they rounded off the corners and made the screen completely flat. And now the corners are even more flat, like an iPhone. The designs between the Ultra models and the base models are so similar now. And with all these extremely exciting colors like black, white, and all the other colors, these phones are becoming more and more generic every year. I wouldn't be surprised if next year all we got was black and white. Do you remember how much Samsung used to brag about their titanium frame? Looks sleek, built tough, ultra strong titanium. Well, I'm happy to announce that they completely forgot about it. They just said, don't worry about it. Just forget about last year. They literally just saw how Apple got away with it and decided to go back to aluminium again. Technically, aluminium is better for heat, but now there's just one less thing to brag about. If I had friends, they wouldn't be impressed. The real upgrade is that they made the phone slimmer, 7.9mm down from 8.2. That is a good change to see, and I'll take every millimeter that I can. And speaking of millimeters, the battery has seen a massive jump from 5000 milliamps up to a whopping 5,000. What? It's been almost 2 years since we have seen silicon carbon batteries on the big name Chinese phones. In fact, the OnePlus 15 has a 7300 milliamp hour battery. Samsung can see how crazy the battery life is on those phones and decided to do nothing about it. Not even like 5%. On paper, that is depressing. That is like 6 years of the same battery. In the presentation, they said all-day battery, which at this point is just about the most vague and pointless thing that you could say. Although the charging has seen a jump from 40 watts to 60 watts, which means in 30 minutes, you'll have 75% instead of 65%. The one thing that I've been really looking forward to the most is the camera. And I'm happy to say that the camera sensors have once again not changed. Oh wait, actually the aperture on the main sensor and the telephoto sensor has widened, so you will see some improvements in low light. And that 3x sensor is exactly the same, which means don't use it. It's nice to see these little camera improvements, but Samsung is so far behind all these Chinese phones like the Xiaomi 17 Ultra and the Oppo Find X9 Pro. It's not even funny anymore. What is Samsung even doing? In the presentation, they flew over the camera specs so fast, it's almost like they didn't want people to see the lack of upgrades. But then they said that the entire thing was shot on the S26 Ultra, which, I don't know. I still feel like they're a little insecure about the cameras. There are a couple of new camera features like nightography, which is basically night mode but for video. And then there's the super steady mode with horizon lock, which is something that you can find on action cameras to level out the horizon. And the new APV codec, which is near lossless quality just like Apple's ProRes, which is going to be extremely useful to around 11 people. The most obvious upgrade that you could see from a mile away is the new processor. Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Every year the name just gets longer and longer. This gives us a 39% boost to NPU, which is something to do with AI, 19% faster CPU and a 24% faster GPU. And the special treat for gamers is the new vapor chamber cooler for all those sweaty gaming sessions. This is obviously a good thing, but a new processor is the bare minimum to expect from a new phone. Pixel 10a. The camera is going to be relying on AI even more now because they showed something called virtual reflections, which is going to change the lighting and shadows after you've taken the picture. And I don't know how to feel about that because I don't want my photos looking even more fake than they are already. And my least favorite part is the AI, and they talked so much about it. Basically, there's the new Gemini 3, which can do tasks for you in the background, so you don't have to think about anything anymore. And there's the new Now Nudge, which gives you information based on context, but they made it sound like such a hassle to exit out the app and go to the calendar to check something. So now an app like a calendar can just show up in your keyboard when it thinks that you need it. They really don't want us to think for ourselves anymore. Bixby gets an upgrade, and now Samsung Internet is integrated with Perplexity AI, so even more AI shenanigans. I can't wait for all these exclusive AI features to come down to my S25 Ultra in a couple months time so that I can try them once and never use them again. So if this package sounds good, the base model starts at $899, the Plus at $1099, and the Ultra at $1299. They also announced the Galaxy Buds 4, which have an all-new metal design. And then they yapped for so long about how good it sounds. It's almost like they used AI to write like a 3-paragraph explanation on how a good sound sounds like. To their credit, they added a 2-way speaker system with a bigger vibration area, a wider woofer, and a dual amplifier. I have no idea what I just said, but that should give you a very good, sweet bass. And of course they put AI on it too. It comes in 3 colors, starting at $249 for the Pro and $179 for the non-Pro buds. And that's the Galaxy Unpacked event. A bunch of AI stuff, a bunch of small improvements, and a bunch of confident words, like AI. And when a lot of these AI features come to older Samsung phones, this phone isn't gonna feel so exclusive anymore. They really want AI to be the future, slowly win you over so that you stop thinking about anything, including other brands. So if that was useful, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video.